So this past weekend, me and the other coaches here at the calisthenics gym, we all went and did one of these escape rooms. And it was a whole lot of fun, but one of the things that the coaches before we went into the room told us was you don't need to force anything. Nothing should require a lot of elbow grease in order to open a box or something like that. And despite this warning, of course, there was this one time where all of us thought, okay, there's this panel here, and we should be able to open it. Like, it feels like it should be open. So we're like pushing against it and we're trying to really leverage around. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. And eventually, of course, we figured out what the puzzle was. And once we got things arranged, it just popped right open without hardly any effort at all. And this is a big philosophy that I'm starting to really understand and adopt both in fitness and in life, which is simply don't force it. Because we've all been in those situations where things aren't quite going the way we want it to, and we think that the best way to go about it is to just really apply more effort and try to force the situation. And sure, sometimes that's a case where we do need to put in a little bit more effort to make the wheels move a little bit, but I think we can all recognize times in our life where forcing it wasn't the right thing to do, whether mechanically we're trying to make something open and it ends up breaking whatever we're trying to work with, or forced conversation, forced relationships, things where the more we forced it, the more it was a detriment to what we wanted to have happen. And one of the most important things about a fundamental approach to fitness is recognizing that this whole diet and exercise thing, sure, it's going to be challenging at times, but by and large, it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be a struggle and something that is a daily taxation on mind, body, and lifestyle. It's something that should actually get progressively easier over time. And when we are forced with a situation where we force it, what ends up often happening is we invest much more time and energy and effort, and we end up getting injured, we end up getting burned out, we end up quitting, and sometimes we may even be able to push ourselves to get to that result we want, but then we find that it was so costly to get there that it's hard to maintain and we lose it right away, or that it just even wasn't worth it in the first place, and so we give up anyway. So in practical application, what this means is do things in your own pace, your own speed, because we're all coming to this thing at a different situation. So if you're starting off and you're like, I want to get in shape, then if you're thinking, all right, so I got to get a gym membership and I'm going to get a trainer and I'm going to get all the workout and the wardrobe and I'm going to overhaul my entire diet and this whole thing is my lifestyle, that's a lot of investment. And if it's more than you can or are willing to invest in now, you may be forcing it, which is probably not going to end well in your favor. But I've noticed a lot of people who achieve success in almost anything in life, they typically start off relatively slow at their own pace. Like, I'm just going to start off doing some push-ups, maybe like 15, 20 push-ups a day and going for a walk, and I'll cut back on soda. And it's not a big deal, but it's something that they feel, I could definitely do that. And they'll do that for several months maybe, and eventually they'll be like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna get me some dumbbells from the local sporting goods store and follow an app on my phone. And they take things at their own pace. They're not forcing anything. And eventually they get to a point that seemingly is a very high level of result, but they don't feel like it was blood, sweat, and tears and an uphill battle the whole way. So you don't have to take things to extreme. You don't have to force things. In fact, if you feel like you're trying to force your way there, I encourage you, scale back just a little bit and go and do things kind of at whatever level you feel more comfortable with, because you're going to be able to maintain it, it's going to be easier for consistency, and it's going to be much easier for long-term progress if you don't force it. Love to hear your thoughts on this down below and your perspectives and experiences. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.